It's perhaps a testament to the worldwide popularity of yoga that Prime Minister Narendra Modi's proposal of an International Day of Yoga found unanimous acceptance at the United Nations. On June 21, 2015, the whole world joined all of India in observing the first such International Day of Yoga, and this year will be its 9th observance. Yoga is India's gift to the world. It is an ancient physical, spiritual, and mental practice rooted in Indian philosophy that has today been embraced by the world. With its unprecedented popularity across the globe, over the years, yoga practices and styles have been added to cater to an ever-growing audience, a changing demographic, and global trends.
कभी किसी ने सोचा होगा कि राजपथ भी योग पथ बन सकता है, और आज पूरे हिंदुस्तान में हर गली मोहल्ले में जो योग का माहौल बना है, उस माहौल को हम निरंतर आगे बढ़ाएंगे। इसी एक अपेक्षा के साथ आप सबको मेरी बहुत बहुत शुभकामनाएं।
Namaskar. Yoga has been practiced in India for over 1,000 years. Over time, many different types of yoga, different schools of thought have developed. Today on International Yoga Day, we will break down the main styles of yoga for you, hoping that you will choose something that works best for you, or perhaps the program will motivate and encourage you to try something new. Begin with Hatha Yoga. It is the oldest classical traditional form of yoga that originated in India. What I'm doing right now is the tree pose, which is excellent for balance, focus, it's good for the body, it strengthens the body and for the spine as well. Hatha Yoga is called the mother of all yoga because many forms of yoga have originated from here. Ashtanga, Vinyasa, Iyengar, Power Yoga, many of them originated from Hatha Yoga.
देखिए, हठ योग जो है वो पारंपरिक योग है। अगर हम हिस्ट्री की बात करें तो हठ योग जो है भगवान शिव ने उसका उपदेश पार्वती जी को दिया, और पास में एक तालाब था, तालाब में एक मछली उसको सुन रही थी, तो वो मछली उस उपदेश को सुनकर मत्स्येंद्रनाथ ऋषि हुए, वहाँ से गोरखनाथ हुए, उसके बाद में पीढ़ी दर पीढ़ी वो नीचे आते रहे। हठ योगा को इसीलिए इसका अम्ब्रेला बोला जाता है हर योग का, क्योंकि इसके अंदर 84 लैक्स आसनास हैं। इन आसनास का ट्रांसफॉर्मेशन हुआ अष्टांगा योगा। शारीरिक स्ट्रेंथ की बात करें, बॉडी को बिल्ड करने की बात करें, तो अष्टांगा योगा एक अलग तरीके से इन्होंने हठा योगा में से कुछ आसनास निकाले, उसको बनाया गया।
Hatha Yoga teaches the 8 limbs or elements of yoga that form a moral or ethical code to help us live happier, more meaningful lives.
पतंजलि ऋषि ने अष्टांग योग बोला है। अष्टांग मीन्स 8 अंग, 8 लिम्स, जिसके अंतर्गत स्टार्टिंग उन्होंने बताया है यम। यम के अंदर 5 एलिमेंट्स हैं उन्होंने दिया है, जिसमें कि सत्य, अहिंसा, अस्तेय, अपरिग्रह और ब्रह्मचर्य। फिर नियम दिया है, उसके अंदर 5 एलिमेंट्स जो कि बेसिक हैं। उसके पश्चात हम आसन को करेंगे, फिर प्राणायाम के उसके बाद करेंगे, फिर प्रत्याहार करेंगे, फिर धारणा, ध्यान, समाधि। ये 8 तरीके के लिम्स जो हैं ये सीरीज से चलते हैं। प्राणायाम का मीन्स प्राणों का आयाम, आयाम मीन्स विस्तार करना, शरीर के अंदर प्राण को फैलाना, प्राण ऊर्जा को। प्रत्याहार, प्रत्याहार का मीन्स हुआ इंट्रोवर्ट, आप अपने आप को बाहर से, आउटर वर्ल्ड से इंट्रोवर्ट करते हो। फिर धारणा, धारणा मीन्स कंसंट्रेशन, ध्यान मीन्स मेडिटेशन। देन समाधि, समाधिस्थ अवस्था, वो तत्व ज्ञान, वो ईश्वर की प्राप्ति।
People do yoga for all sorts of reasons today, to stay fit, to get the perfect body, for mental well-being, to deal with stress, to breathe correctly, improve immunity. Yoga is therapeutic in many ways. Yatendra started teaching yoga once he realized that it had helped heal him.
मेरे को लीवर से संबंधित कुछ परेशानी हुई। डॉक्टर्स के पास जब मैं गया, देखा कि उसका उस तरीके से सॉल्यूशन मेरे को नहीं नज़र आता दिखा, तब मैं योग की ओर बढ़ा। उसका परिवर्तन मैंने अपने शरीर के ऊपर देखा। उसके बाद मैंने सब कुछ अपना जो पुराना किया हुआ था सब छोड़कर मैं योग के अंदर आ चला।
Ruhi Rajput is a nutritionist whose expertise is in Ayurveda, gut reset and hormone balance. She's been doing yoga for over a decade and believes that yoga and Ayurveda are both part of the Indian traditional medicine system that helps in holistic healing.
Yoga helps me build a connection between my body, my mind. It helps me keep more calm. Yoga and Ayurveda both go hand in hand. When we talk about Ayurveda, there is or yoga, we mostly talk about prana or dosha, which is more about flow of positive energy. Flow of positive energy in our body, and it is for our mind and for our soul, and which actually helps us to stay healthy.
Moving on to the next style of yoga is Ashtanga Vinyasa, which is one of the oldest forms of yoga and also the most popular of Hatha Yoga. This is beneficial for beginners, experienced practitioners, and as well as those who are looking for a dynamic practice which feels like a workout. This type of yoga is kind of a set sequence which one follows, where you actually begin with moving meditation and then focus on drishti and breath work.
Ashtanga, the term literally in Sanskrit means 8 limbs. Ashtanga yoga is the 8-limb path which was derived to achieve the state of yoga. In modern day, all of the practices that you see today, whether it's the dynamic set sequences, whether it's a very alignment-based practice, or just holding postures, all of these forms of asana practices have actually stemmed from one man. He's the father of modern day yoga, Sri Krishnamacharya. And in fact, Krishnamacharya pioneered or rather brought back the resurgence of yoga in India in the 1930s. He pioneered the set sequences that we practice today. Coming precisely, Ambika, to Ashtanga yoga. This practice was actually formulated, this dynamic form of movement was actually basically formed to build physical strength in the body. The term vinyasa literally means movement which is coordinated or regulated by the breath. Ashtanga Vinyasa, it includes Vinyasa. Vinyasa is a very integral part of the modern Ashtanga method of practice. I believe that, this practice has gained so much popularity because it is so beneficial. It is such a therapeutic way to practice the Vinyasa form.
Sharan Khanna was part of the corporate world, and it was a corporate lifestyle that drove her to yoga.
My journey started about 8.5 years back. I didn't grow up to be a yoga teacher. I studied, I did my MBA, I was in the corporate space, and yoga happened to me somewhere amidst me going from middle management to senior management. The practice became my tool to cope with the stress of my corporate life, if I can say so.
Yoga is described as the practice that connects mind, body and soul. It has enormous benefits for one's health, not least the effect on the physical body. And that is why this ancient practice is often described as a modern miracle for those suffering from all manner of physical conditions and chronic illnesses.
I actually discovered Sharan about 1.5 years ago, and I think that it was one of the most wholesome meetings that I'd ever had. We kind of met and she's like, come, let's start. And we started, and as soon as I got into her class, I realized that this is not a regular yoga class. It is a practice. What you're doing, what you're learning is really much more about yourself than about the more you stretch, the more flexible you are, or how strong you are. It is all those things eventually, but not really. At its core, Sharon's always been very particular about breath work. Is a sense of nurturing for yourself. I think that when I leave her class, it's like I've given my brain a hug, because there's so much you just encompass yourself with a sense of joy and love that you feel for that hour and a half that you spend with her, and then you carry that with you for the rest of the day. And that's something that I haven't found in any other practice. So this has really been a joy for me.
No, it's not your TV that is upside down. It's me doing the Shishasana. So the next form of yoga which we're going to be talking about is Iyengar Yoga, which was founded by Banega Iyengar in the 1960s. This form of yoga is based on precision and alignment, and it's for any age group and any skill level, but props are used so that everybody can access it, hold the yoga poses longer. Like I did the Shishasana, it was helpful for me because I had the rope as well as I had the blanket. So ropes, blankets, blocks are used, and when you're holding it longer, obviously the health benefits are also much more.
Iyengar Yoga is basically, it started as a therapy yoga, and Guruji always said that yoga is for everyone, and he said there's no reason that nobody should be not able to do the yoga. So he developed a lot of props which he used from household things. He used a chunni as a belt, he used bolsters, he used the chair which is at home, all these natural props, so that everybody, whether you're flexible or not flexible, you could do the yoga. Second thing is, he focused a lot on alignment. Now, alignment is a word which is used associated very often with Iyengar Yoga, because if you're incorrect in a pose, then you don't get the benefit of the pose. Then the second thing was sequencing. We did each day, like I've been doing yoga now for about 20 years. So say assume I even practice for say 300 days in a year, that's 20 to 6,000 days that I've practiced. No two sequence I've practiced is the same. No two sequence I've taught in class is the same. No two sequence I've learnt as a student is the same, because there are so many poses.
For Meena Sarkar Bharatram, yoga has been the process of completely devoting herself to her practice, which in turn has helped her in her journey of healing.
So in 2002 or 3, I had a slip disc, and I was laid up in bed, and I was given a lot of painkillers, and I was advised surgery. Then I was introduced to this Iyengar Yoga by my sister-in-law, and once I started it, it just helped me. It was so scientific, the approach was so scientific that I literally fell in love with it, and my journey began since then. How good it was, I never left it, I never looked back at it.
Research has shown the benefits of yoga on mental health. More and more therapists are using yoga almost as a prescription for mental health problems. Priya had a similar experience.
In 2013, I'd lost my son, and I was really shattered and depressed, yes. And it was difficult for me to handle life. I had tailbone injuries. A doctor had told me to get surgery done. And 2018, when I met Ameena, and one workshop that I attended, it changed my life. I actually understood what it is to go inside, what is it to experience the postures and the lightness that you feel, how you feel happy and light after doing the postures, after doing the pranayam. It's yoga, it's Iyengar Yoga, it's Ameena that has kept me sorted, and the way she has helped me and get rid of all the things. And now I know, there are no challenges. I know how to come out of it using a posture, using my breath, and it is so, so beautiful.
Time for a short break. When we return, prenatal yoga for pregnant women, which even has health benefits for the baby in the womb.
welcome back. Am I flying? You must be wondering what I'm doing. Call it anti-gravity yoga, air yoga, or flying yoga. Officially, this is called aerial yoga that originated in New York but now is popular across the globe. This form of yoga combines traditional yoga asanas as well as Pilates, dance moves, and acrobats. So let's go see and understand what this fun twist of the practice is all about.
It's a combination of our traditional yoga with a bit of aerialist that you have seen, like the circus and everything. It's a combination of traditional yoga with the acrobats into it. We perform the activities, we perform the exercises on the hammock, which basically supports you, which is a very good level for a beginner to start with. Like for example, if I have to talk about, you must have known about this posture called Shishasana, which people do it on ground, and it's known as the king of the asana. And it's very difficult for a beginner to do it because a lot of time if you have a weak neck and shoulder, you might injure yourself. So the same thing that you can do it on the hammock without putting any pressure over your neck and your shoulders, and you reap the same benefits. So what better can it be?
Shiba Mehra is an ACE certified master trainer, a senior citizen fitness specialist, and a running coach. Even though she has been involved with fitness in one form or the other for nearly 30 years, it is aerial yoga that is helping Shiba cope with her own issues.
So the reason I'm here is I feel yoga with all of its benefits, and then aerial yoga, it helps to open out the spine, it helps to open out the hips. We do understand, all of us, that after menopause, we know estrogen goes down. I mean, nothing is hidden. We are away from what science was and what society was 20 years back when we didn't speak about these things. But now we talk about it and we understand that as the estrogen goes down, the flexibility and the mobility in a woman goes down. And with the shrinking of the joint family, and everybody wants to be independent and travel and enjoy themselves. Nobody wants to be dependent on anyone. So if your body is moving, you're fit. You're as fit as your body is.
A recently developed form of yoga, aerial yoga, uses a combination of traditional yoga poses, Pilates, and dance with the use of a hammock. The resultant combination looks both exotic and tough at the same time, almost as though one needs to be an acrobat to do it.
If you really have that passion, if you really want to give it a shot, the only thing that matters is the consistency. And the best part about it is it is not restricted to any age or any weight. So in aerial yoga, it's the same thing, that you do not basically compress your spine or shoulder while getting upside down. Upside down is your entire body is turning around, right? It helps you with a lot more of flexibility, because how much ever you can do the flexibility training on the ground, you can push yourself way more on the fabric, because there is a support available over there. It develops your core strength. What attracts me to aerial yoga is that little feeling, like how as a child we used to swing from branches to branches, we used to get up on the trees without any fear, this carefree attitude, and that bliss that we used to feel, which is now somewhere disappeared. So when you come into this space and you again hanging around and you just moving around and you swinging, I've seen people smiling, and which is like the best feeling for me.
Yoga is not one style fits all practice. Hatha, Vinyasa, Ashtanga, Iyengar, Sivananda are some of the more typical styles of yoga. Just as aerial yoga has evolved as a combination of practices, so has Yin yoga. It is a relatively more slow-paced style that incorporates the principles of Chinese medicine with asanas held for longer periods of time than in other styles. It improves and enhances the flow of energy in the organs.
The origin of the yoga is from India only, but different students from different countries came here, and then they have combined the philosophy of the yoga, and the basic is only Hatha yoga. But different students came from different countries here, and then they have combined their philosophy into yoga, and then they have made a new style of the yoga. So there is a concept of Qi, because Qi is the energy into this Chinese philosophy. So they work in the flow of the energy, because Yin yoga is also connected to that flow of energy. When we hold in a posture, then it makes that flow of energy very clear and clean. So in Yin yoga, we need to hold in a posture for a longer period of the time, and the stretch is passive.
But if you're not a fan of the restorative style of yoga and a fast and furious workout is more your thing, then you should try power yoga. Yoga is a practice that can be suited to any body type and any medical condition, even pregnancy. In fact, especially pregnancy, prenatal yoga helps prepare the body for the potential rigors of pregnancy, labor, and delivery. Some of the pranayama exercises, in fact, are said to enhance oxygen supply, which is also good for the baby.
Prenatal yoga has gained immense popularity in the recent years due to its numerous benefits. It not only helps expecting mothers physically, but also provides invaluable support emotionally and mentally. So they say it's important to rest while you're pregnant and be active, and prenatal yoga brings in the perfect balance of both of these, as it has asanas like the Supta Baddha Konasana, which is a reclining bound angle pose done with bolsters and blocks. There's child pose, there is the Vipreet Karni Asana, which is legs up the wall, and Shavasana done lying on your side with pillows, which bring in a deep sense of relaxation, calm, inner peace.
Yoga can help one connect with oneself. It enables an expansion of physical and mental abilities so that we can become the best version of ourselves. In India, we are guided by the spirit of Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. So here's hoping that everyone can have access to our age-old wisdom of yoga so that we can lead happy and healthy lives. So find the workout, the form of yoga that works best for you. Because remember, investing in yoga is investing in yourself. So let's yoga.